Chef Julie Kostel, tall, tanned, and smiling, unties her apron, grabs a shovel, and tears into her compost pile with a couple of helpers. You might think she grew up on a farm.
No, I grew up in Stowe, in a condo with a pool.
A mouse. See?
Yeah, we have a little mole or a mouse dude crawling around in here. We're trying not to kill him. We keep trying to set him free and he won't leave. It's so cool to see the stuff that comes out of here.
Bob Patterson lives up the street and dines often at Kostel's nearby restaurant. He brought a buzzsaw.
I'm so excited to get these trees down so the sun is going to be able to just bask this. It's going to be so awesome.
So, here we are.
We're down here in the hood. We're across from the old Firestone buildings and the railroad tracks.
There's not much around here.
There's nothing around here. This is a warehouse next door here. It's pretty much vacant and empty around here.
Like the slow start of spring, that's finally changing on Ira Avenue, where an eyesore lot once littered with refuse is now covered with green shoots. Kostel, chef and owner of Miss Julie's Kitchen, has long been preaching the gospel of a plant-based diet and making it taste good on South Main Street in the low-income Firestone Park neighborhood of Akron. She'd rescued herself from obesity, heart disease, and diabetes by changing her diet and is on a mission to help others gain access to healthy food. She gives cooking classes to Head Start pupils and their parents.
And again, teaching people how to eat a plant-based diet. It doesn't have to be all vegan, but a plant-based diet is way less expensive. It's way better for your health.
Kostel farmed last season on a small plot in a community garden, but now she's the first urban farmer with permission from the city of Akron to operate a for-profit agricultural enterprise on a city-owned lot. She's leasing it for $50 per growing season.
So we're working out how to access water and pay for it and meters and all that kind of stuff. So part of the process.
Why did you decide you needed this extra land?
Because there's a lot of people around here who need to eat vegetables.
She's part of the state's Corner Store project that addresses the lack of fresh food in the inner city.
They did some food desert mapping, and they decided that my area was a good place for people to come to get produce, and especially local and organic. So they helped me purchase a cooler and some signage.
Food deserts plague Cleveland's inner city, too. But Jacqueline Kowalski of the Cuyahoga County Food Policy Coalition says community gardens are starting to supply fresh produce to corner groceries and convenience stores. And she says the number of community gardens is growing, too, because of foreclosure demolitions creating more vacant lots. The city has been losing population for the last 60 years.
We have a lot already. So there's a potential for a lot more.
More than 17,000 houses in the Cleveland area, most of them foreclosed, are believed to be vacant. Cuyahoga County now has 210 community gardens, and Cleveland has more than 50 farms.
And they can be a small farm. They can be this 20 by 20 piece of land in somebody's backyard. They can be a vacant lot that's been transformed.
Kowalski says planting, watering, and weeding together has changed neighborhoods.
People who may not know each other are all of a sudden knowing each other, spending time with each other. And those sorts of things bring out tremendous benefits. So the city of Cleveland is very, very supportive of community gardens and want to see as many as possible.
Kowalski works with urban farmers as an educator for the OSU Agricultural Extension Service. She says one of the biggest challenges is soil quality.
So you have to, first of all, look at the history of that lot and what is there and what was there before. Things like the lead paint that was very prevalent during certain parts of the last century.
Back at Miss Julie's Akron farm, she's treating the soil by piling on compost from last year's garden, as well as kitchen refuse from her restaurant.
We're putting a lot of organic matter back in, as you can see. This is a lot of slop. And we do that on a regular basis. We've had soil testing done, and we've never had an issue.
What will she do about pests and plant disease?
Nothing. Pray.
You don't want to use any kind of pesticide?
No. My grandma said if the bugs won't eat it, I shouldn't either.
Kostel says deer don't come by, but raccoons and groundhogs can be a problem. She hopes to control it without having to put up fences.
Last year we had a couple people pests, but you know what? I figure if they're going to steal tomatoes, I'm all for it if you eat them. I'm cool. There was a dude that came by with the church's chicken bag one day and was loading them up with tomatoes for his mom, and I'm like, whatever. Tell her I said hey.
She plans to sell 8 different kinds of heirloom organic dried beans, peas, open-pollinated corn, zucchini, collard greens, and 5 kinds of kale out of her restaurant's cooler, as well as at Little Mike's Corner Store down the street, and perhaps a stand on the sidewalk by her Ira Avenue farm.
In the regular grocery stores, everything's either genetically modified or sprayed or pesticided or waxed, and you get 3 varieties of tomatoes versus these amazing, hundreds of different kinds that we can grow ourselves here in Ohio. And they taste so much better. But there's access now. You can walk to get food.
But Julie Costel is cultivating a lot more than crops.
Julie's an inspiration.
Spencer Cutlip is 23.
This is my passion, working with Julie, farming, helping the local community get healthier. I just want to boost Akron, follow in Julie's footsteps. Julie, where do you want your compost pile?
I want this to be the actual compost pile right here.
Okay, yeah.
Last year, I had a couple of parents that actually brought their 13, 14-year-olds over, to work and help me rope stuff off. And just the community and the talking and all that, it's always beautiful. Yeah. And you know what? Somebody called me an urban pioneer a couple weeks ago, and I said, well, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Chef and urban farmer Julie Costel. For those who want to follow in her furrow, the local farm buying club Fresh Fork Market is sponsoring an all-day crash course in urban gardening April 27th at Urban Community School in Cleveland. And that's this week's Quick Bite. Next week, we'll show you how to grow your own mushrooms. It's as easy as falling off a log. I'm Vivian Goodman, 89.7 WKSU.